Hello, my name is Ionis Disoglu. In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you some exciting software applications that Adobe has released, which will enable us to create 3D animations easily and quickly. So I'm just going to go to my flag here and click on all programs. And the first software I'm going to use is the Adobe Substance 3D Modeler. Now, this software application is very powerful. You can actually check some video tutorials here as well when you have time. So you can actually create some very cool effects. So the purpose of this video is for me to get you started basically and introduce you to Modular. So we will create something quite cool. So for the meantime, I'm just going to play around with the shapes here. As you can see, we have different shapes. Every time I select a shape changes here. If I click and drag the red or the green or the blue arrow, I will be able to actually change the position of the shape. Okay, so once I'm happy with the shape, let's change the size. We can change the size. Okay, let's use a cylinder. We can actually create a little point there, and we can use a filler there, and we can use the channel. Okay, play around with this. Okay, play around with these tools. Okay, and you can actually rotate it as well. Okay, now if I hold the Alt key on my keyboard and click and drag, I can actually rotate around my shape. If I hold the Alt key on my keyboard and click on the wheel on my mouse, I will be able to actually change the location of my stage. And while I'm holding the Alt key down and right click on the mouse, I can actually zoom in and zoom out as well. Okay, again, have a play around with these options. Okay, until you master and you're happy with it. So for the meantime, I'm just going to create a spacecraft here. So I'm just going to use the wrap tool now. Oops, I forgot to actually apply the shape. So you need to apply the shape once you have created it. So now I have applied the shape, I can actually use the wrap tool. And if I use the arrow keys on my the square brackets on my keyboard, I can actually increase or reduce the size of my brush. Another way to do it is here, but if you use the shortcuts on the keyboard, you can actually see the exact size of the brush, which I prefer doing this. So I'm just gonna pull this there, here. I'm gonna use the Alt key, go to the other side, and then do that the same here. Oops. Control Z to undo. Let's try that here. Okay. And okay, so that's my spacecraft. Okay. Now I'm going to use the build up tool. Again, I'm going to reduce the size of my shape here. And I can use the crease tool as well. Let's use. Let's use the another flatten, the inflate tool as well. That one looks more like an alien. craft. Okay, that's my craft. Okay, so what I need to do is smooth up a bit the edges. Okay, now I'm happy with this spacecraft. I don't know if you call it spacecraft or whatever. Okay, this for me, I call it spacecraft. Now I'm going to File and select Export. I'm going to make sure that FBX is selected. I'm going to make sure that the painter is selected. All the checkboxes are checked, and then click Export. I'm just going to call this Shape 1. And then click Save. I'm just going to wait for the Substance 3D modeler to basically export the object I created. Now, depending the object you have created depends on your computer specifications. This may take a bit more time, or it's going to be quicker. So now I've done this. I'm just going to minimize this and go and open my next software application, which is the Adobe Substance 3D Painter. So now with Adobe Substance 3D Painter, I will be able to basically paint my spacecraft. Again, there's video tutorials here. You can actually watch in your own time. So the next thing, if the layout doesn't look like my layout, if you go to Help and then select, if you go to Window and select Reset UI, okay, you will have the default layout here. You can customize it by actually clicking and dragging the panels. So, or you can actually, if I click on this panel here, you can click and drag the panel. You can place it here at the bottom or at the top. It's up to you. I'm just going to leave it as it is. And if you messed up a bit and if you close accidentally a panel, you can always go to Window, select Reset UI, and basically the panel will come back. The next thing we need to do is, because we're working on 3D object, we're going to go here and we're going to select 3D only, so we have a bigger stage here. We're going to go to File, select New, and then we're going to select our actual shape file, Shape 1. Click OK. We're just going to leave the default settings here. OpenGL is preferable. If you're using Windows operating system, you can always use DirectX as well. But OpenGL is for cross platforms, including if you're using a Macintosh computer. So I'm just going to click OK, and the shortcuts are exactly the same. So if I click on the Alt key on my keyboard, I will be able to click and drag to basically rotate all around my shape. Okay. If I use the Alt and the click on the wheel, I will be able to basically move around the stage, and if I right click, I can zoom in or zoom out. Oops. Okay. So now what we need to do is basically start coloring our shape. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to go here and let's use the brush. We're going to scroll down to materials and we're going to find a material of our choice. Select any of the materials of your choice. Just give a bit of time for the material to load. And once you're happy with the material, again, you can use the right or left square bracket on your keyboard and then basically click and drag to basically shape it. I'm just going to use here to rotate. So I'm creating something that's camouflaged, nearly a spacecraft. I cannot be detected by humans, maybe, I don't know. Okay. Again, you can always change the material to something else. If the effect doesn't take action straight away, give a bit of time. Give a bit of break to your graphics card. Your graphics card is working very, very hard. Okay, and now I'm just gonna let's put this down like that. And if you like to put some text to claim your art, so you go to the alpha section. I'm just gonna type here font. Select the font of your choice. Select the material. Let's make a green. Can make it bold. Increase the size. Just gonna call this compute C Academy CA spacecraft. Okay. Computer Academy spacecraft. Let's see. And I'm just gonna pull this. Let's tailor there, and let's put it right there. Okay. It's good. Okay. I'm happy with that. So I've got my spacecraft, or whatever you want to call it. Looks like an alien falling from the sky. Anyway, I'm gonna go to File now, select Send to, and I'm gonna send this to After Effects. After Effects will open, and I've got my project here. So I'm just gonna rename it to what do I call it? Computer Academy spacecraft. Let's see. Okay. So I'm just gonna click and drag this right into my timeline, and then I'm just gonna call this Computer Academy. Computer Academy spacecraft. Click OK. I've got my project here. Let's bring it down. Oops. Let's go here to the transform. Let's get the position. Okay. So the position is there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to enable the timelines here, the times on the timeline, then go to about here, 12 seconds, and I'm just going to use scale, just to bring it closer, and while it's coming closer, I'm just going to rotate it as well. Okay, it's coming closer. Rotates. Let's go here now. Continue rotates. Let's rotate all the way. Then scale it. Then disappears. Okay. Goes like that. Let's bring him up a bit. And it goes away. Now we'll go there and we're going to bring the opacity down. Make it look like it's disappearing. Okay, let's bring the opacity back up. Okay, we're going to put it there. We're going to go there. Okay. And we're just going to bring this here. We don't want any more of the timeline. So let's press play. So it's floating in space. It's coming, checking out, and then bam, disappearing. It's collected something and then disappears in space. Okay, so this is quite dull. So what we're going to do, the only thing is missing now is put some sound. We are going to use for this free online software. It's called Beatbox. So I've done a play around before. I'm just going to show you how to use it. So if you go to beatbox.co, so we select the first one. So it's just going to go there and then bring this down. Then if I press play, so I go to the second one. I'll go up. Go to the next one. You can increase the timeline, you can go a bit more. Okay, I'm going to pause that now. I'm just going to go to a file, select export. I'm just going to call this Computer Academy, spacecraft. Make sure you select MP3. So I've got this now, and the next thing I need to do, let's pause this. I've got my soundtrack here. I'm just going to drag it over here to my project, and now I'm going to click and drag it to my timeline. Let's bring it here. Make sure your timeline, the music, the sound is coming to the very beginning. There. This will do. So I can go here. That's my audio. So if we press play now, let's go there. Let's reduce the volume a little bit. Okay, let's go back. Oops. Don't think I've export. Let's see. Okay. So you can put more instances there of the soundtrack, or you can go to beatbox. You can actually loop it whatever times you want, the amount of times you wish to loop it. So put here loop 4 times. So I've got another version of it. Just gonna go here on my downloads, and just gonna click and drag the new version of it. I'm just gonna click and drag it below. Select that one here. We can press the delete key on my keyboard to delete it. Let's try now. Let's bring the volume down a bit. Okay, so it's repeating. Now what you can do, you can right click on the sound layer, select timeline, and then select reverse layers. Sometimes what this will do is basically give you the sound a bit in more spacey manner. Why it's not working at the moment? So let's go back to timeline, reverse layer. Okay. Again, you can actually reduce or decrease the volume. It's up to you. Excuse me. So it's better if you have a bit something there, so it's no, your animation is not completely dull. Okay, and this is how basically you create the animation and apply the sound. The final step is for us to basically export this. In order to do this, we will need to use the final Adobe software application called Media Encoder. We will export this as a Windows media player. So give a bit of time for the project to load. Again, depends on your computer. This can be quicker or slower. So once it is open, you can select Windows Media from here and then press the play button. Once this is done, your project is fully completed and exported and ready to be submitted. Again, this process may take a bit longer or it might be a bit quicker depending on your computer. And it depends how big your animation is as well. So I'm just going to click here now And I'm just going to double click on my project. And my animation is finished. It's a bit choppy. With a bit of more time and extra frames, you will be able to basically generate something a lot more smooth. I hope you've learned something new today. I hope you will be able to apply these techniques to create your own 3D graphics and 3D animation. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.